So I watched Superman 5 times in IMAX over the last week and a half, and I want to share my top 5 takeaways from that experience and why I am finally hopeful for the future of the DCU. So number 1, the first takeaway is joy for the present. In all of my adult years, we've never had our shit together at DC. It's been a long and painful road. Even for someone like myself who loved Man of Steel and BVS, the joy you feel is dampened when those around you are not having fun. I want these films to be enjoyed by and accessible to everyone, and we now have that, which makes me overwhelmingly happy. And the second takeaway is thankfulness for the past, not just for Henry Cavill, who is still my Superman, but Brandon Routh and Hochland, if that's how you say his name, and Welling, and most of all, Reeve. This film is a total 180 from all other adaptations, and yet it springs into the sky off the backs of these Men of Steel. And honestly, I think this new version by Cornsweet is improved by and improves all the previous versions, as it only distinguishes them more, giving us a massive buffet of Supermen to choose from and enjoy, depending on the mood that we're in. And the third takeaway is hope for the future. Again, we DC fans are finally eating good. Finally. We've got so much on the way, and I've never been filled with this level of hope or hype before. From a Clayface horror film to a Jimmy Olsen anthology series, we are in for a wide variety of comic book goodness. And number 4 is the new punk rock, a cultural shift away from cynicism towards optimism. I might be overstating the impact of this film, but I just, in my heart, really hope that this film inspires a cultural shift that transcends the DCU and the film space entirely, to bring optimism back into our culture. After all, that is the whole point of films, is to transcend the films themselves and infect the way we live our lives. I keep thinking of something Superman Cornsweet himself said in an interview at one point, where he was talking about what it means to be good. It isn't thinking good thoughts. It isn't holding a certain set of morals or believing anything special that makes you good. It is action that makes you good. Being good is doing good. And this film even says that too. You know, it's your choices that make you who you are. And in a world of endless Twitter feeds, politics, and cynicism, we need optimism again, but we need someone to fly us towards it. And this film does that. This Superman does that. And my fifth takeaway is audience trust, the ability to unapologetically be weird. I love how weird this film gets, and I hope it only gets weirder from here. As we talked about in our back row review for the film, Superman and DC as a whole has some crazy, weird, and amazing stuff in it. Some of the best Superman comics and comics in general from DC are absolutely wacky, and to see that fleshed out and to be trusted enough as an audience to handle that feels amazing. And like I said before, I hope this is the tide that rises all boats. I hope this not only inspires more creative DC films, but also Marvel films too. Competition keeps us on our A game, and until now, there really hasn't been anything in the comic space to rival or challenge the Marvel way of doing things. So I'm excited to see how this really helps everybody sharpen their swords and get better and more creative. Now, I want to add a sixth takeaway here that may be a little bit cheesy or cliche, but hey, I've been inspired by Superman, and I am going to just let my optimism fly, and my thankfulness, which is the sixth takeaway. As a kid, I would have passed out if you told me that a film like this would exist, let alone an entire DC universe. But beyond these films, the sheer volume of films and TV content is staggering. And it's really easy to talk down on that when a lot of times the artistic integrity is compromised for the sake of volume, and that is a very fair criticism and totally justified, and I'm not ignoring that. But one does not have to halt that criticism to also stop, look, and just be thankful. We are living in a time that people 20, 30 years ago could not have dreamed of, let alone before that. And that is something worth thinking on and being thankful for. For all of the faults and all of the problems that come with the modern world, we have an embarrassment of riches when it comes to comic book media, and that is something worth being thankful for. So those are my 6 takeaways after seeing Superman 5 times in IMAX. How many times did you see the film, and what are you most excited for next in the DCU? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll talk to you all again soon.